Metal screamed as the car tore through the night. When it finally stopped, slammed into a warehouse wall, 2 young men were dead. Behind the wheel, 17-year-old McKenzie Shirilla lay unconscious, but alive. At first, it appeared to be a tragic accident, but soon investigators uncovered a truth far darker. This was no accident. The wreck looked like something from a nightmare. A Toyota Camry slammed into the side of a warehouse, metal crumpled, glass shattered, smoke curling into the early morning air. Inside, 2 young men, Dominic Russo and Davian Flanagan, lay lifeless. Behind the wheel, 17-year-old McKenzie Shirilla barely clung to life, unconscious, bloodied, and a ghost of the girl the community thought they knew. At first, police whispered about a tragic accident, but then the illusion cracked. No skid marks, no swerving, just raw, unrelenting speed. The Camry had barreled forward like a missile. Detectives pried the black box from the wreckage. 5 seconds before impact, McKenzie had floored the accelerator. The car climbed to 100 miles per hour, never touching the brakes. Not a miscalculation. Not panic. Intent. The community reeled. McKenzie was always the smiling teenager, the girl in photos who looked harmless, maybe even sweet. Dominic, her boyfriend, Davian, their friend. Why would she deliberately end their lives?
Her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo, and friend, 19-year-old Davian Flanagan, died at the scene.
Just take it back to the property room.
In the weeks and months that followed, police determined this was no accident.
We feel like Davian was just a victim.
Detectives dug into the days leading up to the crash. Whispers from friends painted a different picture. Cracks in the relationship, arguments escalating into threats. Social media told one story. Reality, another. Text messages revealed her growing obsession. If you don't come out, there's going to be a serious problem. But those words were just the surface. Investigators stumbled onto her TikTok account. Videos posted days before the crash painted a girl immersed in danger, death, and control. One caption read, "I'm the one you die for." Another, "I'm not even cool, I'm just one of those girls who can do a lot of drugs and not die." Not relics of the past, these were fresh, alive, created as anger and desperation boiled over. And then detectives uncovered footage that erased any doubt. This wasn't an accident.
Would that be to key my car? Tell me to break
I
the
will
door.
key your car if you do not let me in the house.
You're going to key my car
If you don't let me in the house, yes.
She threatened his property. She threatened to break into his house.
Correct.
Surveillance cameras had captured McKenzie weeks before the crash, speeding down the same stretch of Progress Drive. She cut the wheel, slammed the brakes, and stopped inches from disaster. Practice runs, rehearsals, preludes to murder. July 31st, 2022. She lured Dominic and Davian into the car that morning. Where she promised they were going remains a mystery. What's clear, they never made it home. At 5:30 a.m., the Camry surged forward. No hesitation, no mercy. The speedometer climbed 60, 70, 90, 100 miles per hour until the car slammed into the warehouse wall. Dominic and Davian were killed instantly. McKenzie survived, unconscious and bloodied, a living witness to the horror she had orchestrated. At Metro Health Medical Center, doctors fought to save her. In the fragile hours after the crash, she revealed more than she ever would again. Trauma surgeon Dr. Esther Singh later testified about what McKenzie told staff. The patient stated she wanted to die, and that it was her fault for killing her boyfriend. Hours after the crash, no strategy, no legal advice, just raw, unguarded confession. Hours after the crash, with no time to plan a defense, McKenzie admitted responsibility. When defense attorneys tried to downplay the statement, Dr. Singh confirmed, "Yes, that is exactly what the medical note says." By the time the trial began, everything had changed. McKenzie claimed total memory loss. Her defense painted her as a traumatized girl who had made a tragic mistake she couldn't recall. panic, sudden acceleration, maybe even Dominic grabbing the wheel. They suggested anything but intent. For a while, it seemed believable. Jurors saw a quiet, trembling teenager. Her lawyers reminded them she loved Dominic and Davian, that she could never hurt them. But the prosecution wasn't finished. They pressed play.
The families of Dom and Davian, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose.
They argued panic, sudden acceleration, or even Dominic grabbing the wheel could have caused the black box data to flicker across the screen. 60, 70, 90, 100 miles per hour. Each number is a heartbeat, a countdown to death. Security footage showed the Camry barreling toward the building, brake lights absent, inevitability carved in steel and glass. Then came the messages. Threatening text to Dominic, dripping with obsession. TikToks flaunting bravado, hints of death and control. And the practice runs, unequivocal proof she had rehearsed every step of the fatal crash. The defense narrative collapsed in seconds, and then the arrest footage. Body cams captured the moment detectives approached her. "You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2. Her lawyers scrambled. They tried to humanize her, modeling aspirations, perfect grades, and family support. Even her mother, Natalie Shirilla, pleaded with the court. The crash was a tragic accident, she insisted. Her daughter almost died too, and would never emotionally or physically recover. But the truth was insistent. McKenzie and her family clung to denial, even as evidence screamed otherwise. Every threat, every rehearsal, every acceleration, every unguarded confession, ignored. The contrast could not be denied. In private, she admitted guilt. "It was my fault for killing my boyfriend." In court, she claimed amnesia. In court, she denied everything. The split between the unguarded truth and the staged performance spoke louder than any lawyer. August 21, 2023. Sentencing day. McKenzie entered the courtroom, scarred, head held high. She requested to stand, a performative gesture observers later called her final act. "To the families of Dom and Davion, I'm so deeply sorry," she said, voice trembling just enough to sound believable. "I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened."
Sad and lost, and my heart hurts for everyone, okay? Davion was her new friend, and Dom was the love of her life, and he was part of our family, okay? I'm just so sorry that this happened, and we're heartbroken.
She claimed sorrow, she claimed love, she claimed amnesia, but her body betrayed her. As Judge Nancy Margaret Russo described the deliberate nature of her crimes, McKenzie shook her head, no, defiant, even before the parents of her victims. The judge was unmoved. The court finds the defendant, McKenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder in the deaths of Davian Flanagan and Dominic Russo. Sentence, 15 years to life, no parole until the minimum is served.
So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder.
The smiling teenager behind the wheel was gone. Inmate number W123456 now stared down decades behind bars. What sealed her fate wasn't just the science, the black box, the surveillance, or the expert testimony. It was her own words, threats, TikToks, hospital confession, laid bare across time. Every post, every text, every practice run was a breadcrumb leading straight to her guilt. In the end, this wasn't a crash. It was a choice. And choices once made carry consequences impossible to escape. Was this a premeditated act of revenge or a reckless moment that spiraled out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.